Today we're looking at an awesome product called Earthshine. It's a very unique product by Green Grow, and here we have Mark from Green Grow to tell us about this amazing product.
Thanks, Ryan. Yeah, today we brought our Green Grow Earthshine BioChar blend here to showcase its uses and abilities at rejuvenating old organic soil or boosting the performance of new soil. What we have here is a 5-gallon, 30-pound bucket, which is a standard size that we sell. And we have our smaller versions for the smaller gardener, backyard gardener, or indoor gardener. In the pouches, they come 1 pound, 2 pound, and 5 pound. But what it is, to get to the nuts and bolts of it, it's a biochar blend. And biochar is an old, ancient Native American technique for rejuvenating soil continuously year to year, so you don't have to replace any new soil. What it is you take old hardwoods like oak and pine, and you char them down slowly over a long period of time so that the wood maintains a charred-like quality but also has the optimal amount of carbon, so it's not charcoal at that point, it's actually biochar. That carbon is available to the plants more readily than charcoal would be. So we grind up the biochar, we mix it with very good soil amending ingredients including glacier rock, humic acid, worm castings, and soybean meal for nutrition. What the idea of this product is that so you don't have to reuse your soil from year to year. So if you're growing outdoor, a 30-pounder of Earthshine will treat 2 cubic yards of soil. And if you want to look at that from maybe a per pallet standpoint, usually a pallet of soil is between 2 to 3 cubic yards. So a bucket should be able to take care of that for you. And if you think about the cost of replacing a pallet of soil, usually you're running between $500 to $800 depending on which soil you buy. And this guy retails between $155 and $165. So you can see the savings are there. When we talk about boosting new soil, the reason why you'd want to boost your new soil is because a lot of people are buying soils that are blank and or they just don't have enough nutrition in it. What this does is it provides the highest level of soil carbon you can possibly buy on the market, and soil carbon is what dictates fertility in soil first and foremost. Another thing that it does is it provides all the micro essential nutrients that the glacier rock provides, and the soybean meal provides a small amount of nutrition. So once you blend this into your soil, you can plant directly into it, and a few weeks later, once the plants have taken root, then you can start adding your favorite dry amendment fertilizers. Once your plants have taken root, then you can start adding your favorite dry amendment fertilizers as a top dress or a liquid, depending on how you want to add them. This isn't a standalone fertilizer product, but what it's intended to do is bring your soil back to the health it needs to be to grow really lush plants throughout the season. And the carbon being the most important part to this. Carbon is what makes your soil food web in the ground thrive. So if you don't have sufficient levels of carbon, earthworms aren't going to be present, mycorrhizae and beneficial bacteria are going to die off, or they're not going to be present. So when you get the soil in the right condition, your plants will start taking over because the soil food web of microbes and beneficial bacteria and mycorrhizae will start thriving, thereby increasing plant health. So what we can do with this product as well is, instead of just mixing into your soil, if you just want to use it as a transplant aid, you can transplant 1 to 2 tablespoons into the potting hole with mycorrhizae, and it increases the mycorrhizae's effectiveness up to 50%. So why that's important is because typically mycorrhizaes are a little bit more expensive than just your average soil amendments. So if you can get 50% more bang out of your buck with mycorrhizae, you're going to be a happy camper. So these go really well with the Green Grow Ultra Fine and Granular Plus mycorrhizae products, or your favorite mycorrhizae brand. One thing to note about this product is that you only have to add it once per grow cycle. So you're not going to be adding this product continuously. And if you forgot to add it once you're already in the ground, you can top dress and water it in just like a dry amendment, and it's going to slowly provide the carbon and the nutrients to the soil.
So Mark, I know that you touched on the fact that carbon is an essential key element that you need as a biological bed for your biology to thrive in. So those compost tea gardeners out there, you've heard of people taking old carbon or charcoal, putting it in their garden, what they're essentially doing is creating a bed for that biology to thrive in. So if you're a compost tea guy, this is definitely a product that should resonate well for you. You should try it out. If you're reconstituting your soil currently with products like Accelerite or C90 or glacial rock dust, this is a product that not only has the carbon, it has those other ingredients to add those trace elements into the soil.
Yeah, and the whole goal with this too is it's an all-in-one. You have all those amendments in one spot, so you're not buying, you know, humic acid, then glacial rock, and then soybean meal, and then carbon source. You know, and the best thing about this product is it has some of the best beneficial bacteria in it from Green Grow, which is great because it gives you a good start to your soil. It's not only adding, you know, beneficial bacteria, but it's also helping that beneficial bacteria thrive in there. One important thing to note too, if you want to use this as a standalone for your compost tea production, it's a compost tea accelerator. When you add a rich carbon source like Earthshine to your compost teas, you will have a stronger, more robust compost tea. It increases the amount of microbial content per square inch of water by up to 50% as well. So that could be important for people who want to do compost teas and they don't want to spend 12 to 24 hours doing it. It's going to accelerate it a little bit more, so you might be able to cut some time out of your compost tea brewing or just have an overall better compost tea at the end.
So Mark, I know a lot of gardeners are utilizing this product to reconstitute their soil for their outdoor fruit, vegetable, or flower beds. What about indoor gardeners? Can this product be utilized to benefit indoor gardeners?
Yeah, exactly. If you're an indoor gardener and you're primarily organic, that means you're not using some synthetic hardeners or, you know, caustic flushing agents at the end. Your soil will be in a position to be reused again, and actually the more you reuse that soil, the better it's going to get with Earthshine. And if you didn't have any pest or pest management issues the first time you grew, you should probably use that soil again so you don't have to worry about getting a bad bag of soil that you're in your indoor market. You know, you have sometimes soil that comes with bugs in them. So if you got lucky or you were good with your pest management and you killed all the bugs that were in that soil and you grew really good that first time, you should probably use that soil a second time because you're going to be for sure that there's no pests in that soil.
Yeah, I agree with you, Mark. We have a lot of indoor gardeners that are mostly organic guys that reuse their soil over and over again. Most gardeners maybe up to 6 or 8 times, but what they tell me is the soil just gets better and better. Now, for peace of mind, after maybe 1 to 2 years, you know, maybe start over with a fresh batch. But what you're creating is a synergistic biology that's happening at the root level. You're actually, if you're allowing your beds to develop over cycles and you're not using any sort of PGR hardeners or growth stimulators, you should actually be getting a better soil blend harvest after harvest, especially if you're reconstituting with products such as Earthshine. But you actually hit on something else, which is people that are concerned over pests when they're reusing their soil. Now, if you're concerned over that and you're more of an organic guy, then you might want to also amend with some diatomaceous earth as a top dressing. That's always going to be something that's going to help fight any sort of pest at the soil level and do it completely organically without any sort of pesticides.
Exactly. I mean, we believe strongly that, you know, throwing away soil is not ecologically friendly. And, you know, we're in industries, you know, gardening is an industry where we're trying to be more ecologically friendly because we want to grow our own produce, our own fruits and vegetables. We want to know where it comes from, and we want to know that it's healthier for our bodies. And so, you know, by not reusing your soil and by using synthetic chemicals, we're actually going in the opposite direction. So, you know, we prefer that customers reuse their indoor soil with Earthshine, and they'll have tremendous results. And you can go as small or as big as you want. Our biggest size is a 50-pound ag sack if you really need to go that route. But if you're a small indoor gardener, a 1, 2, or 5 pound size is the ideal amount. This 1 pound will treat 2 to 3 cubic feet of soil. So if you want to think about it that way, that's, you know, one average bag of soil is around 2 cubic feet. So, or if you buy, you know, the 1.5 cubic foot bags, it'll treat 2 bags of that soil. So you know, you can go a long way with just 1 pound of Earthshine, and you can save a lot of money that way too.
Is the Earthshine considered organic?
It is considered organic. We haven't registered with you know, the OMRI listing yet, but we're feeling that that is kind of going the way of the dinosaurs, the OMRI listings. There's a little bit more important, you know, registrations that are coming up in the world, including the USDA organic, which we're working with at the moment.
So perfect. So there's all organic elements inside.
Exactly. And the one thing that I would add to this is that customers can use this in various different ways. You don't have to be stuck with just replenishing your soil with it. If you want to boost your soil, if you want to make a compost tea, if you want to use it as a microbial enhancement for your mycorrhizae, it's an all-in-one product. So you're not getting stuck with one use, you're getting stuck with multiple uses that's going to save you money. Thegreengrow.com, that's thegreen.com.
Or monstergardens.com. Thank you for watching.
You